Joel, Scott from Hey You Guys.
Hey
Lovely
you
to see you
guys.
again.
Hey you guys.
Congratulations on the film.
Thanks.
We just spoke to David, and he said that the idea, the genesis of this was more from you than from him.
Yeah, I like
what
to
was
say
it?
it's my fault.
What was it about this story and kind of giving it a little bit of a contemporary spin that kind of appealed to you?
Why it all came from me is because I had done the plays, and then there hit a point and that was 20 years ago. And then there came a point where the opportunity to sort of choose your own adventure in terms of being a filmmaker came along, and I floated the idea of doing a version of Henry V. It had been a while at that point. It was I think, The Hollow Crown, and because we started writing this in 2012, I think. And I thought that when I floated that idea to people that had the money, that they would laugh at me and say no and kick me out of the room or something of that nature. And they didn't. And I went and grabbed David and I said, hey, because we're collaborators, and, how do you feel about doing this? And very early on, the idea was like, all right, let's not presume to do better, because there's so many incredible versions of Henry V, but let's do our own thing with it, with all deference and respect, and use the opportunity to tell our own story and look at politics in a different way and the life of an individual put in a seat of high power.
Was it always the plan that you were going to play Falstaff, or did that fall kind of a little bit later? And congrats on the accent, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
It's a hard one to put on.
Yeah, no, look, I try. I don't know how they land because it's hard to be objective about it, but I do put the work in. Very early on, we decided to take the risk of going on a thin limb and changing the nature of the character of Falstaff, based on historical research of him being potentially based on a man called Sir John Oldcastle, who was very much against Henry IV, but had fought and led an army on his behalf, and had fought for Richard II. And the idea that Falstaff was maybe a drunk because he'd seen the kind of horrors of war, but he was still a very capable man. And, Timmy's playing a young king. He was 26 when he became king. That ostensibly, I'm 45, that I could be considered in that era an old man.
Yeah, sure. Just finally, you're doing so many amazing projects, right, and directing and all that kind of stuff. What's it been like working with Barry Jenkins on his new TV show?
Well, we're having a blast. The weird thing is, I'm going from set in Savannah to, putting on other people's fancy suits and talking about this. It's that weird moment where two films collide. But I feel an incredible privilege to work with great directors, David and I have gone a number of times, and to work with Barry has sort of been a dream since I've started watching his work. So I feel like a very privileged man being able to do that.
And we're going to see Will Smith again for a Bright sequel?
It's supposed to be happening, yeah. It's supposed to be happening.
Thanks so much for your time.
May be back.
Pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!